All right, next door we have, like I said, there was a D23 Brazil, and they didn't reveal a lot, but they did give a little bit more information about some of the lands that they did announce at the American, I suppose, D23 that they had earlier this year.
Yeah, so one was about Villain's Land. So we found out a little more backstory. We found out when they're going to start construction, and we found out what villains may appear. So a lot of kind of vague information, but still stuff that you want to know. So the head Imagineer, Michael, I can't pronounce, is it Hunjin, for Walt Disney World Resort. He came on the stage and talked with Josh Giamaro about Villain's Land, and he basically said, quote, "In our story, a mysterious spell has been cast, summoning all these villains from every realm. In this land, the heroes, they don't come to save the day, and there might not be a happily ever after."
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, so there's a little more backstory there. And they also said, it'll be 2 major attractions, dining and shopping. They have not started construction, but he did say, "I am excited about a lot of projects, and I'm particularly excited about this one. I'm looking forward to breaking ground on this land. We're going to do that very, very soon." So again, very vague. We don't know what that means exactly, but we always talk about like when this is going to be finished, how long is this going to take?
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, it's maybe a couple months they get started on it, and then we might see something by 2030 be done by then. I mean, that's 5 years. So I think that's attainable if they start soon, like they said they would.
The issue with, first off, I think Villain's Land should be the first one they develop, personally speaking. I think that's the one that has the most potential, because obviously, they're not going to say this, but obviously this is their answer to Epic Universe. I think Villain's Land is something people have wanted for a long time, and I think the sooner they get that one open, the more they would have a big draw about bringing people in. Mm-hmm. The issue we have with Villain's Land is they have to develop that land first, because it's going beyond back there behind Big Thunder. So breaking ground here doesn't mean they're going to start building the land. They have to do a lot of prep work because it's Florida and it's like swamp area. So you have to prep the land for it. At the same time, they did say they're going to start construction on, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and the Cars area in 2025 as well.
Right.
Even when they're doing one land at a time, their construction timelines have been 4 to 5 years, or even one attraction many times. So I personally, just looking at it, I don't think you see villains, in my opinion. And if they do that, I say all this looking historically, they could feel the pressure and put the money in to do it quicker. But just looking how they've done things, I don't think you see villains till sometime after 2030. I don't see that taking a short amount of time. And then when you look at the current things, still you're looking at a lot of these lanes, Animal Kingdom and all these. I don't think you're going to see those till, I think 2028 would be fast.
Okay.
I think some of these, now maybe, again, I could be completely wrong, but if you look at the timelines, I think 2028, 2029 is an area where you're going to see the majority of these things open. So there's going to be a span here where they're not going to really, a lot of the parks are going to be in construction. They're just going to do shows and parades, really. And, you're talking about the market in, Orlando. They're essentially giving Epic Universe a 3-4 year run there to whatever impact it's going to have. So I expect them to do some heavy discounts during this period. But in terms of the timelines, again, they could go quicker. But just looking at what they've done in the past, that's kind of what I'm expecting. If it's sooner than that, then great. But
some of the villains that they did talk about would probably appear, and they said taking inspiration from Queen of Hearts, Jafar, Evil Queen, Lady Tremaine, is it Yzma? Is that how you say her name?
I think so.
Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook, Maleficent, Gaston, Mother Gothel, Ursula, Hades, Chernabog, and Maleficent's dragon. So 2 Maleficents. It's a big list.
It is a big list, but I do think Mother Gothel is the worst one out of all of them. I've said that for a long time.
You have said that.
She's the most evil of them all.
So besides Villain's Land, they also gave an updated concept art for Pirates of the Caribbean Lounge, noting that it's like less crazy, less stuff going on, more tame.
I guess I didn't notice. I guess people had commented it seemed, it was very rowdy, and this is much more, I guess, of a lounge thing.
I mean, we're talking about pirates, man.
That's what I thought.
Pirates are rowdy.
Now, I will say, I think this will be a massive success.
Oh my gosh.
And I think they should do more of I
Yes.
think a Haunted Mansion one would do well.
Mm-hmm.
I think more of these themed lounges. Again, I don't think this is going to be things that are going to bring people into the park necessarily, but I think people that are in the park that are fans of these things would absolutely do these because people love their lounges at Disney. Look at Tambu Lounge over at Polynesian. You look at Nomad Lounge. I mean, lounges are very popular, you know, go in there, especially a themed one. So I think this is potentially a very successful thing that they're doing with this. So
I mean, I'm just imagining myself being at Magic Kingdom, and I don't know, you know, obviously this is so far away, we don't know how they're going to set it up. Like, is it going to be a virtual queue thing where you get on a list? Is it going to be a walk-up list? Is it going to be reservations only? Like, we don't know.
I would assume like no. Well, they might do it like Oga's.
I don't know. That's the thing.
Maybe
like Oga's.
I bet it would be like Oga's.
Like give you a time limit.
Hopefully it's big enough. I mean, Oga's is so small. Hopefully it's a decent sized. I mean, a lounge, you don't want it to be huge, but hopefully it's not like insanely tiny.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's that. We also got to look at the Moana float that'll be in Disney's Starlight Parade. That's debuting in the summer of 2025. Previous art showed Cinderella, Peter Pan and Wendy, Elsa, and some characters from Encanto. So this is the first thing we've gotten word about Moana being involved. So there's that. That's cool. We also got to look at the Cars attraction. Is it like a new trackless system or something?
So they gave a sneak peek of essentially that was Imagineers on like Gator 4x4s, like four-wheeler type things, almost like golf carts on a dirt track of essentially what I suppose the early concept of the track will be. So they're giving you a little bit of a sneak peek there. I mean, it's one of those things where that could easily change. I think they're very gun shy. They're very tight-lipped on not giving out too much information. And I think that's probably due to the whole thing with Epcot. And Disney now has this reputation of over-promising and under-delivering. So they're being much more tight-lipped and not revealing a ton of things because more than likely a lot of this stuff will change, maybe for the better, but a lot of times things get budget cuts and stuff like that. So I think they're now just giving snippets here and there. Yeah, and I think that's kind of what they're doing with this. So I wouldn't expect any updated concept art with any of this stuff probably for years.
Okay.
You know how that's
fair.
You know, and a lot of times when they have new concept art, things change when you look at it. But I mean, they revealed all that concept art for the Epcot overhaul that we're going to do. And then obviously the final product was much different from many aspects of that. Yeah. And I think that's probably why they're taking this sort of method with it.
That's fair.
But I mean, if you want to check it out, I'll put an overlay if you're watching on YouTube. I'll put a little video of it, but it's nothing crazy. It's just a little POV camera of them on the cart going through the track thing. So it's supposed to be, again, like a dirt racing. It's supposed to be trackless.
Yeah,
that's what it's supposed to be. You know, won't talk about whether that fits in Frontierland. I've given my thoughts on that before, but the attraction itself potentially is a cool one that I think would make more sense in Tomorrowland over in Tomorrowland Speedway. But that's just me. So
all right, well, that's basically it that happened.
Yeah, I mean, that was really all the details. It was just kind of a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more tidbits of
little
information.
little morsels here and there.